to the Parkinson Family new YouTube channel. So before we begin with today's video, I just wanted to introduce you to my little family. Here we have Alex, he's the daddy, and here's me, I'm Becca, and this is Chloe, and she's 3 years old, and this is Ava, and she's 18 months. I just wanted to start today's video off with one, thank you for watching this. I hope that it helps people. I hope that it answers questions. I hope it's entertaining. Let's get right into it. We're doing a Q&A today, and I wanted to talk about our foster and adoption journey. A lot of people are unfamiliar with that journey, and so they have a lot of questions about it, and I think that's great, and I'm here to answer any of them. If you have any more questions, you can just type those out in the comments and we'll get to them. I'm just going to go through some questions that we got. Let's just get started. So the first one is, did we have a hard time getting pregnant? Yes, absolutely, 100%. When we first started trying was about 4 years ago, and hey, even from the beginning it wasn't looking great, and I didn't know if I'd ever could have kids. We've just been exploring that. It's been a journey in and of itself. And it's been hard, obviously, but you know, everyone goes through things that they're supposed to be going through, and this is our journey and our path, and we feel really blessed. Honestly, if this is the only way we get kids, that's okay with us too. It just is what it is, and you just gotta go with it, or else you'd be sad all the time. Second question is, did we try fertility treatments? No, we didn't try any fertility treatments. I have PCOS. I can go into a whole video on what that is and how it affects me, but the most important thing is it causes me infertility. Are your girls biological sisters? The answer is yes. So people just ask, I'm like, oh yeah, they are. And honestly, if you see me anytime and ask me, are there biological? You could ask me again. Yes. How is it fostering siblings? Fun. Did we want 2 kids in the beginning? The answer to that is no. Our very first placement call was for these girls, and they said there's 2 little girls, one is 2 and one was just born, do you want them? Okay, let me think about it, I'll call you right back. So I called my husband and I was just like, do you want to take these girls? He goes, absolutely. And so I called him right back and I said, yes, we'll take them, of course, and we got everything ready. It was really crazy. Just people we're talking to encouraged us to be open to taking 2, and because of that we got these girls, and I am so grateful that we listened to that advice. How was your journey? Is one of the questions, and the short answer is difficult and rewarding. Difficult because whenever you have a kid in the system and you're doing foster care, it is not easy. There's just a lot of people involved in the process. I mean, you have the biological parents and the caseworker and the supervisor and all their assistants, and then you have lawyers and you have a judge, and the list goes on and on. And you have to talk to all of them and make sure everything's going well, and thankfully we had a beautiful caseworker that helped us out a lot. The sad truth of it is that the system isn't perfect. They try their best to make decisions that will help these kids, and sometimes it doesn't and sometimes it does, and you just do the best that you can to help the kids. And in our situation, we actually didn't run into that many problems, especially in comparison to a lot of foster parents and families, and they go through a lot. And while we had our struggles, and it wasn't easy, and it wasn't easy waiting, that was a big thing. It wasn't easy waiting to see what was gonna happen. It was pretty smooth in comparison to a person who doesn't do foster care and doesn't have that background and doesn't live in that world. The process of adopting these girls would probably look insane, but to a foster family, it probably looks amazing. What has it been like for your family? For my little family, we didn't have any kids. So when we got these girls, it definitely changed everything for us, but we were expecting that change. Where if we would have had kids already, that would have been, I think it would have been a lot tougher. The other thing I want to talk about is our extended families and how it affected them. Because for a lot of foster families, their extended family isn't as supportive. And I think, again, from lack of knowledge of what's going on, there's a stigma about foster kids, and it's really strange to me. Just like from TV shows, so they're not even from reality. TV shows are not accurate. They're just not. They have some truths, but they're made for drama purposes, so it's drama. But both sides, so my family and Alex's family, were supportive from the very beginning. The only thing that happened was that scared them a little, that they loved them so much, and they were worried about us and how much we loved them, and that's probably the hardest thing about fostering, is not knowing if they're going to stay in your home or not. But it's so worth it. And it's a little bit scary. It's a little nerve-wracking just not knowing what's going to happen. But even when you're just adopting kids, you don't know what's going to happen. And there's a lot of factors. So thankfully, we did get to keep them and love them forever. But the great part about it is if they would have been able to go back to their parents, we would have been really happy for them. So there's happiness on both sides. Why foster care? I get asked this question a lot. Why didn't you just adopt? Why did you go through foster care? And it's a couple of reasons. It's very expensive to adopt kids. That's a big reason, and I'm not shy about that. It just is. The second thing that really planted it in was we had talked about foster care before we knew we were infertile. So we had planned on having a few kids, then when they got a little bit older that we would do foster care. That was our plan. And then I found out that the likelihood of me having kids is not very high. And we don't know exactly what the likelihood is, but we knew that it wasn't going to happen anytime soon. So we decided to start fostering sooner than later. We decided that we wanted to do it now, and we both really love kids and we want to help them. And that's why we're doing it. That's why we started doing it. And it made it a little easier when we didn't know if they would stay with us or not, because we were doing it for the kids and not just for us. Another question that I get asked a ton, and a lot of foster parents get asked this because of media, and it's frankly annoying. The question is, do you get paid? And that question alone is fine. But with the added, oh, you get paid to do this, and the whole stigma there, I'll just put it this way. Yes, there have been people who have abused that and used that money for their own needs, and that is bad. I will grant you that. But most foster parents use that money for the kids and use their own personal money for the kids. So the answer is yes, you do get paid to do foster care. It varies from state to state how much, but regardless, you do not get paid enough to take care of those kids. It is nice to have a little bit extra for them, and it feels good to know that they'll always have stuff, but you spend your own personal money on those kids every time. Alright, let's move on to a fun question. So people ask me all the time, or they usually comment that my kids look like me. And so I'll be like, why do they look so much like you? That's crazy. So specifically what happens is they say that Chloe looks just like me. And that is very true. I will not deny that. She has a cousin that looks exactly like her. It's pretty crazy. And it's fun. They fit right in. But why? I don't know. I don't know. It's just a fun thing that happened. And when we first picked them up, Chloe went right into Alex's arms. And I saw her and I'm just like, oh my gosh. It was really cool. It was really fun. And I always get that question. I've actually gotten that question about Ava a lot, too, which is surprising to me. But again, they share features, so it's, yeah, and they've said that she looks like Alex too, and it's fun. It's nice because it kind of melds our family a little bit more, but honestly, like, whatever they looked like, we would love them, and they'd be our family, so it's kind of fun, but also, like, not a big deal. Did you keep their names, or did they change their names? Chloe actually was given the name Chloe. There was no changing that name. She is just Chloe, and yeah, we just felt like that was her name, that's what she answered to, that's what she knew, and she's too young to understand that she could change her name and what that means, but she's too old that it wouldn't be confusing to change her name, so there was that. And then her middle name we actually kept because that was the middle name we wanted to give her. It's my sister's middle name, and that was the name I was going to give her anyways, so we kept that too, which was kind of funny, but we would have changed it, but it was already that, so there you go. And then Ava actually had a completely different name when we got her, and we changed her name to Ava Bell Parkinson, and it's just such a cute name. So the last question I have is, do they feel like your kids? So this is an interesting question. Say the short answer is, of course they do. Yeah, they're definitely our kids, and the funny joke we make is sometimes I forget that I didn't give birth to them, which is hilarious because I've never given birth. So I think you'd remember that. We forget that they haven't just been in our family from the beginning. So I think that's the end of my questions that I have. There's a ton more questions out there, I'm sure, so if you want me to answer more questions or do another video like this, just let me know in the comments, and we will compile more questions and answer anything you want to. We're very open about our journey. I know these questions can get pretty personal, and I am totally fine with that. I'm a very open book about this. I feel like it can help a lot of people who are going through the same thing or are just curious to know how it works. I love educating people about the foster care system. I am not a fountain of knowledge about it or anything, but we are foster parents, so we know a little bit at least. So we'd love to answer your questions. Anything you want to know, just let us know. And we'll be making more videos too. We'll be making some videos with our kids and doing fun stuff. We just want to share our lives with you, just to help people. We love helping people, so we want to brighten people's lives. If you want to see more videos like this or other fun things that we're going to be putting on here, then you should subscribe to this channel and like this video and all the things you want to do. And then you'll know if we put more up. So I love you guys, and I'll see you all later.